Right now at 6 o'clock, another corrections officer attacked while on the job, this time at Cheshire Correctional. What the union that represents the officer is saying happened.
And the next steps expected today for a man accused of shooting his Uber driver while on his way to work. The charges he's facing.
And an argument quickly escalating at a Taco Bell, what police say started and how it ended.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning, sunshine. Happy Friday to you. First at 6. Grab the umbrella. It's going to be a rainy start to the day out there, so we'll just have to bring you the sunshine through the TV screen. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Symphony Privet.
And I'm Keith McGilford, the two of us with you through 11 a.m. Did you find an umbrella? Do you have an umbrella?
I brought one in today.
All right, well.
I'm on my A game today.
Well done, my dear. Matt Scott taking the reins from Sam at 6.
Clearly, I've missed something here with the 4 to 6 thing. There's
Yeah.
clearly like umbrella gate or something like that.
There's a trend of me not having the proper gear when it's raining outside.
Umbrella, ice scraper.
Yeah.
You know, we try to get you prepared on this end of the studio, Symphony. I don't know what more we can do other than deliver one to your house. Here's what you need to know before you go. We've got morning rain. You're going to need your umbrella. Some thunder possible as well. The rain's going to slowly taper off in the afternoon and evening hours. The weekend, however, starts a little wet. It ends better. We'll talk about that coming up. Let's get right into it. Take a look at the radar picture, and it's not bad now. It looks like runners at the corners in terms of some more steady rain. Right outside of Brooklyn, we're seeing some heavy rain approaching Route 12, just south of Killingly. Let's take you up to the northwestern hills where the rain is steady but manageable in Sharon, up down Route 7 up to Cornwall. But there's some busier weather coming in over the next couple minutes. Expect this at 6:12 in Salisbury, 6:32 in Goshen. This will pick up a little bit as you look off towards the west. You see a lot of thunder that will likely just kind of clip I-95 into Merritt. So road warriors heading down into New York City, stand by for that. You're going to have probably a busier than normal commute. Once we get this out of the way, you see it does quiet down a little bit towards western New York and Pennsylvania. So we'll look for that to happen around the midday period and mid-afternoon. And then as we go into tomorrow, things definitely still a little wet, but improving, and that's the way the weekend trend will go. So morning rain tapering off slowly. Temperatures into the mid-70s again. Just can't get those numbers going. We got to work on that. We'll see what the weekend's going to bring us coming up in just a few minutes. Symphony, I think this is one of those days where you're going to want to get paid by the word. You may have a lot to talk about this morning.
Yeah, expecting a lot of action on the roads, but do want to remind you guys to be safe out there. Let's go ahead and get you up to speed with what's happening on this Friday morning commute. Now, we are taking a live look over New Haven right now. Just got word of an accident happening in West Haven. This is a jackknifed vehicle on I-95 southbound between exits 42 and 41. Right now, the right and center lanes are closed. So if you are heading out in that direction, you can expect some delays or try to find an alternate route if possible. Taking a look at the scene here, you can see that is impacting traffic. It is stopped at that point right now. So again, you want to find an alternate route if possible. And we'll have another update for you at 6:30. Another corrections officer attacked by an inmate, this time over in Cheshire.
The union that represents the officers confirming the attack here. It says there have been other attacks this month in prisons around the state. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane live for us in Cheshire this morning with the details. Lindsay, good morning.
Hi, good morning. This is the second attack on a correctional officer this week alone. And now union officials are calling on the legislature to pass better policies so they feel safer at work. The union says the correctional officer was, quote, viciously and violently attacked by an inmate last night, again here at the Cheshire Correctional Institution. Officials say the officer was protecting an inmate who was attacked by another inmate. The officer suffered multiple injuries to the face and the body. Now, again, this is the second attack on a correctional officer this week. An inmate at the Garner Correctional Institute in Newtown stabbed 2 officers Tuesday morning. The Department of Correction says the inmate stabbed one officer in the neck, the other in the torso with a makeshift sharpened toothbrush. The union says attacks on officers have doubled over the last few years, and in the last 3 weeks, there have been 3 assaults injuring 4 officers. The union president says in part, quote, The reality is that recent changes in the laws regarding inmates out of cell time and administrative segregation, especially for chronically dangerous inmates, have put frontline staff in grave danger every day they go to work. The union president also says the time has come for Governor Ned Lamont and the legislature to take action to protect prison staff, saying state officials are dictating working conditions without understanding the challenges they face, including safety. Now, we have reached out to the Department of Correction for more on exactly what happened here in Cheshire. We are waiting to hear back, but they did say that they plan on releasing a statement soon. We've also reached out to see any sort of status update on that injured officer to see how that officer is doing, but we still have not heard back on that yet either. We'll keep you updated as we learn more throughout the morning, of course, on air, online, and on Fox 61 Plus. Live in Cheshire this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Lindsay, we know you'll continue to work your sources. Appreciate that. We will see you at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, 6:06 this morning, a man in Newtown accused of sexually assaulting a child. Police saying 68-year-old Richard Neal taught private music lessons. Officers notified of an alleged inappropriate relationship between Neal and one of the kids. Neal charged with 3 counts of sexual assault and 3 counts of delivering alcohol to a minor. An Amazon
delivery driver accused of shooting his Uber driver is expected to appear in court. Stratford police say this incident happened around 10:30 yesterday morning near the warehouse on Long Beach Boulevard. Officers say 26-year-old Anthony Van shot his Uber driver several times. They say Van later reached out to them to turn himself in.
He reached out to dispatch to surrender himself. Officers approached him and he surrendered without incident, and he was taken into custody.
Well, officers say when they searched Van, they found 3 loaded guns. Now, he's facing an attempted murder charge and he's being held on a $1 million bond. We're told the Uber driver is expected to survive.
A man who was shot by a Manchester police officer could enter a plea during his court appearance today. Joseph DiLoretto accused of charging at the officer with a knife back on July 16th. Body cam video capturing the incident. This all happened in an apartment complex on North Main Street. Police responding to a domestic disturbance at the time. Today, state utility regulators are expected to vote on United Illuminating's request to raise electric rates. Last month, regulators gave preliminary approval to an increase that amounts to just under $2 million. That's far below the $130 million United Illuminating wants over a 3-year period. At the time, Attorney General William Tong applauded the smaller increase, saying the company failed to justify that rate hike. State auditors say poor accounting in the Attorney General's office may have cost the state $10 million from past settlements. Their new report showing the office needs to make improvements to keep track of settlement money. The auditors also say they found a lack of oversight for overtime pay for employees at the start of the pandemic. Attorney General William Tong says he disagrees with some of the findings here.
There's no poor accounting. The Office of the Attorney General, as the state's lawyer, brings in more money than any other state agency other than the Department of Revenue Services.
Auditors say out of 25 cases they reviewed, there was a lack of documentation about settlements in 17 cases. In addition to the more than $10 billion unaccounted for, auditors found other unaccounted settlements over the last decade and even dating back as far as the early 1990s.
This is about, frankly, cases in which we are trying to collect money from other people, and sometimes that's a struggle. And so we accept feedback and input and criticism. We're not afraid of it. And if we can do something better, we will.
There's also encouraging the AG's office to modernize employee records. According to the audit, all 300+ employees who work for the Attorney General are still using paper timesheets.
A Hartford police officer resigning after the department says he admitted to creating traffic stops that never existed. It sparked an internal investigation that led to a 13-page report on traffic officer Michael Fallon. Officers say he admitted to fabricating 33 traffic stops. On top of that, he's accused of over-reporting 195 of those stops and even entering a false arrest warrant. The probe went on to uncover he incorrectly reported a driver's gender 12 times, their race 19 times, and failed to properly tag evidence and operate his body camera.
I can't tell you why someone would engage in this type of misconduct. It doesn't make any sense to me. We have processes in place to find it quickly and address it aggressively.
Fallon resigned back in March. After learning of the misconduct, the department moved to have Fallon decertified, meaning he can no longer work in law enforcement here in Connecticut. Police say this is evidence that its policies and procedures created to catch misconduct worked.
Tense moments in Southington that started with a missing food order. Police saying 21-year-old Jonathan Jenkins went to the Taco Bell on Queen Street to pick up his online order. That's when he found out it wasn't made. Documents showing he drove through the drive-thru twice before meeting two workers at the front entrance. Police say Jenkins came at one of the workers with a knife. They say he tried to drive away before police got there, but he hit the curb and got a flat tire. Police say the workers didn't help the situation.
That escalated to the point where I think the employee inside made a comment as well, and then they arranged to meet outside by the front door. The fact that he produced a knife is just escalating well beyond where we need to be for getting Taco Bell.
The manager at the Taco Bell tells us the two workers are off the job pending the outcome of an investigation here.